What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts apps. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the Nerdgasm. What's going on, YouTube? It's Insane, a place to be. Channel Mr. A&E, back to give you guys the movie experience. And joining me on this audio edition of the movie experience is not Deion Sanders for prime time.
Are we on the air?
Yo. Y'all know what we're talking about here. We are talking about the newest film to drop, the last biggest blockbuster of the year, and that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, Prime was fortunate enough to be able to see the movie like back when Hollywood had their whole first screening where everybody went to, and then the public 3 weeks later got to see the film. So I've been waiting. My anticipation was high, but yet reserved and nervous about this film. For the obvious reasons, because Chadwick Boseman passed away. Ryan Coogler had a tough hand to handle how much pain was going to be in the movie. And so we're going to give you all that. Now, I figure I want to give this review kind of like a mullet style kind of review. Have you heard that? Have you heard that style before, Prime?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to give you a quick review of the movie, first, and then we're going to talk about straight spoilers all the way through. Okay, so real quick, obviously there's no secret that T'Challa has passed away because Chadwick Boseman has passed away. Okay, so they're trying to handle that in this movie. And then there's this new thread by the name of Namor. Who?
Are you sure that's who?
Oh, Kotoka. Look, if my wife is here, I swear she would be correcting me on the names and stuff like that. So, they have this new thread that emerges from this underwater civilization at Wakanda, and so they have more problems on their hands. But also, the movie is mostly dealing with about how everybody's handling the death, basically, of King T'Challa, or, and how we're dealing with the death of Chadwick Boseman in the movie. And I think, it lands heavy on that. So, real quick, Prime, quick overall, how'd you enjoy the movie and things like that? And if there are little small things, don't tell us what it is, to give spoilers, but if there is some small things, we can talk about it later.
No, I really enjoyed it. I went into it knowing that it was going to be about grief and pain, and that's why I expect. Each MCU or Marvel movie don't have to be the same, So I feel like this one was definitely one of the ones that I feel like, okay, I can. Some movies I rewatch for the action scenes, some movies I rewatch for other scenes, and this is one of those.
When it comes to rewatching for something else or rewatching for the action, because I know they did that.
Rewatching for something else.
Got you. I think the action was pretty dope. I think the action in this movie was better than the action in the first movie.
I don't think that. Well, the final battle, yes, is better in this one, but
because
overall,
we had that PS2 fight in the first one.
Well, overall, I'm just saying I'm not coming to this movie for action, so I wasn't even expecting action. There are some cool scenes in it, yes, but it's not one I'm going to be coming back to for the action.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. They introduced some new characters that we'll definitely talk about. There's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of world building and a lot of setup for this as well. So, right now, I know that wasn't too much of a mullet style because we just gave we said a quick rundown. We probably shouldn't call it. We just probably call it spoilers. But we about to get into our spoiler review. Okay, look, this is the final warning. Y'all been warned. Spoiler review. It's actually gonna be in the title. It's probably gonna be in the title card. I'm just letting y'all know right now. Spoiler review for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So if you guys don't want no spoilers, honestly, you need to stay off the internet because as soon as Friday hit, they was letting everybody know about the spoilers. I was just like, so y'all gotta definitely stay off the internet. But if y'all on my channel, y'all want to listen to it, definitely we about to talk spoilers. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Let's go into the spoiler talk here, and let's go to different things. Number one, the overarching theme of this thing is Chadwick Boseman's death, and in my personal opinion, I think Ryan Coogler hit out the park. You have to give this man credit for what he was able to do with the hand he was dealt. Okay, like, I don't think people truly don't understand. Like, this wasn't a regular actor to Ryan Coogler. This wasn't just one of his co-workers. This was his friend. This was his close friend of his. This was a family member almost to him. Of all the stuff that they worked on together, even on the first one, and it's just like you lost a piece of yourself. So it was hard for him to go do that. Then he had to rewrite the whole script. Then, we had the whole Letitia Wright COVID thing that summer, where everybody was like, well, she getting fired. I need to remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, she's still.
I'm just saying, but so he had that going against him. Then there was a deadline. Then you had everybody talk about the recast of T'Challa. The man has like the biggest weight on him, and to be able just to be coherent enough to even come out with a quality movie, I think deserves all the praise in the world. In my personal opinion, and I think they handled the death, which I thought they kind of would, because at first I was just like, how are they going to explain T'Challa's death? Like, you can't say he was dusted because all the Blip people came back. Do you want to have him like they did in Gotham Knights, where he's having like a fight with Namor in the beginning and he kills him? But I was like, but that wouldn't be cool. But it was something that I think worked out because we couldn't control it. It was a sickness that they could not control, and it was a cold opening with having Shuri trying to figure out how to create the heart-shaped herb, because Killmonger burned it all in the first movie.
Burn it all.
Yeah, burn it all. Have him try to figure that whole thing out, and then just having him die, and then them having his funeral at the beginning, and then, oh my God, you know what? The funeral didn't make me cry. It was powerful. It was just like, rest in peace T'Challa. However, do you know what got me? Is when after
the Paul. Oh, never mind.
You about to say what?
I was gonna say the pallbearers, but yeah.
No. It wasn't that. It's just as soon as the funeral scene, as they called him up, and Shuri's crying, and it goes right into the Chadwick Boseman Marvel opening that they used for Black Panther on Disney Plus. There's no music. It's like you just had a Marvel music, or you may have like some sad music, or you thought it may be Rihanna's "Lift Me Up." I got things to say about that song, but no, it was no music. You just heard a pin drop in the theater, and you just see the whole Chadwick Boseman Marvel thing come up, and that right there, I was like, "Oh my God, this joint is hitting me right now."
Hey, that's what I was telling Q, because he was like, ask me questions about the movie, and I was like, if you're gonna go see this, I know people like to go see it in the Dolby and the IMAX. I'm like, don't go see this in Dolby if you try to go for the surround sound and it's not. This is not one of those movies for the surround sound and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of quiet, very silent at parts.
Yeah, very silent, and that opening right there, I was just like. Then I had like the Denzel Thug tear. They came out the left eye. I kept my mask on so people want to see how much I was swallowing. So,
the only thing that would have made low-key, the only thing that would have made it better if they would have had Boys to Men. It's so hard.
Other than that, it's funny because still like the original song of that one better, but it just be because certain music can trigger you also, but it's just like even if they put "Don't Want Missing You," although I don't play it, no, they ain't gonna play that. But what I'm saying is, but just it being so quiet, it was just like, my God, it's like, okay, we here, and that the whole film is like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the whole film is because people grieve differently, okay, and the film, that's what the film illustrates. It illustrates what Shuri's going through, what Queen Ramonda is going through, what the Dora Milaje and Okoye is going through, what Nakia is going through, what M'Baku is going through. All these characters of how they're dealing with the loss of their king. And now with the loss of their king, it has opened up now certain countries feel as though like, oh, now since the protector is dead, we can just go in there and just steal the vibranium from these Wakandans. I was just like, the fuck? That's how we start off in doing this thing. So I was like, now since T'Challa has opened up the resources to a little bit of the world, now it's people.
I think he opened up the resources, but he never obviously like the Queen said, vibranium was definitely a no-go.
Yeah,
like anything else is kind of cool or whatever. You can talk and do all this kind of stuff, but no vibranium. It's like, yeah, I get it. I definitely get it.
Exactly, because as soon as you give an inch, they will take a mile.
Especially the U.S.
Especially the U.S. It's like they'll take that joint for weapons of mass destruction in war. They want that. Look, please, they don't want nobody being powerful than them. But my God, I was just like, okay.
If I was T'Challa, I would have just only helped the poorer cities around us, and then the Avengers. Well, it was able to come in. Other than that, I would not have opened it up that much.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, it's like you really haven't proved yourself, too much like that. But so let's go on to the characters here. First of all, this movie is basically let's just talk about Shuri for a little bit. Shuri is T'Challa's sister.
All right, real quick before we talk about Shuri, I just want to know who's her hairstylist because she had like 15 different haircuts in this movie.
You know what? It was funny because I was watching a review, right? They was talking about why her hair keep changing? I was just like, I didn't pick up on it until you just said it again. I was just like, damn. That's some true shit.
I picked up on it when, like, okay, the funeral and obviously we get what happens. Then she has the haircut. Cool. And then, like, from the time she does what she does late in the movie to the time she shows up in front of M'Baku, I'm like, how did you change your hair that fast? It was like 2 seconds and your hair is braided all the way down. What happened?
Yeah, she braided that Jordan real quick.
Yeah, like I didn't know that the suit braids your hair for you. I didn't know you're doing that.
Exactly. This is a Shuri origin story in a way, because they in the comics we already know that Shuri is deemed to be the next Black Panther, obviously, but this movie here is like dealing with something that I really thought that was interesting. She's a woman of science, and like all this stuff about the heart-shaped herb and the ancestral plane and the souls and Baba and all some of that. She don't believe any of this shit. She's she's more like when it comes to scientific facts of what things can be proven, it's the same thing that we have today when it comes to religion versus science type of thing like that. And she's more so focused on things about the religion aspect. I mean, not the science aspect of it, of things that can be proven, and it causes hurt and anger in her heart because of how she lost her brother, because she could not control it. She was not able to do it, and I thought that was really well done when she takes the heart, like when we get later into the movie and she does find a way to recreate the heart-shaped herb, and she does go to the ancestral plane. We will definitely talk about that in a little bit.
She went. She didn't. No, she did. She went to the.
Yeah, she went to hell. She went to hell. How did you feel about Shuri's journey? Because it's like you knew that we were building up to her becoming at least somewhat of a Black Panther. I knew it wasn't going to, obviously, because I really think people were so scared to the point where it's just going to be like, oh my God, Shuri's going to be Black Panther. She's going to be the Black Panther in the next upcoming Avengers movies. I don't think she is, y'all. I really don't. But for the sake of this movie, I think this is what, they kind of like had to do in a way.
Yeah, I think this is her story, but I'm gonna be. I still don't look. I just still wish we would still get something to show, like how she all of a sudden is like, all right, now I'm worthy to be the Black Panther. Because let's be honest, in Avengers Infinity, she got hit one time, but she was just knocked out for the rest of the movie. She got hit one time by a goon. It wasn't even like one of Thanos' kids. It was a goon. And she was out for the whole movie. Now you're supposed to believe that you're supposed to be the protector of this country?
Well, obviously, I know it's a little hard, another pill to swallow, but she did take the heart-shaped herb.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, as far as her skills go,
Oh yeah. She got no skills because you see she would get her ass waxed at the
end. and almost killed. But that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry he's supposed to put that Wakanda and you almost die. All right, anyways, whatever. I like that story, but I still just something in me just don't believe she's the permanent Panther.
Yeah. Then we go to Queen Ramona. Yo. Can somebody please nominate Angela Bassett for her Oscar? Can somebody please, like Angela Bassett has been doing this acting thing for decades, and I don't think she has ever gotten the credit she deserves as an actor. And I mean, Angela Bassett was out here; she was doing civil rights movie acting in this one. Like those are these acting skills are what black people reserve for freedom movies. You know what I'm saying? Slave movies. She said, "Oh fuck this! This is a Marvel movie, but I'm gonna go ahead and say." That we gonna come out here and we gonna put the work in. Like
I have one gripe.
What was the gripe that you had?
Whoever edited the movie or the trailer, I wish that she would have had more than just that one scene that we seen in the trailer. Okay. Because when we seen it, we already knew that was gonna be an emotional scene. So when we heard it, was like okay. So I wish the scene that happens with Okoye could have been a different scene, but still emotional, and then her give that scene somewhere else as well. That's all.
Yeah, but that scene was powerful because when there is a scene in the movie where because Okoye fails, she fails a mission. Okay,
she did not fail. She failed a mission she wasn't even supposed to be on.
So that's that too. And Shuri gets kidnapped, and the queen, she is like. She lost her husband, she lost her son, and now her daughter's missing. She is like, she's had it. Like, she has reached the boiling point in terms of have I not given enough. That scene right there, I was just like, oh my God, this is acting. Because she had me convinced, like, yo, this woman is in pain. Like this woman, she had every right to, chew Okoye the fuck out like she did.
That is true, but I'm saying I wish that scene would have been used against somebody else, and still Okoye would have got a different scene. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly, I kind of wish that the scene between her and Namor, when he came up on the beach in daylight.
That could be one too.
Yeah, I'm saying I wish they could have had a powerful exchange also because I felt as though it was just more so like I'm gonna threat to kill you and things like that.
The only reason I'm saying the Okoye scene is because Okoye knows what she's been through. Because obviously Okoye is like the head of. She's right there. So I'm like, it would have made more sense if it was somebody that didn't necessarily know everything she's been through to her to give this speech to.
Yeah,
but that's small.
Yeah, no, it's small. And then also, now another character I want to bring up before we get into the big one is. Riri Williams. They bring in Riri Williams. Obviously, that's Ironheart. For those who don't know the character of Riri Williams, and she was, she was definitely, like was an Iron Man legacy character, if you want to call her, and everything like that. And so everybody knew that she was going to have her. She has her own show, Disney Plus, coming next year. And at first, I was just like, okay, it's Riri, but how are we going to bring Riri in this? Like, how are we going to incorporate her in this? And the reason is because the whole reason why any of this plot thing is happening, other than just, T'Challa's death, is that there is some vibranium that is found deep beneath the sea, and there is a tool that she made that they kind of took from her that was tweaked a little bit that can help track where vibranium is at. And then they will go and try to steal or take up some of the vibranium. And now, because she's like a expert about this, and then now Namor is kind of like, well, they're disturbing my civilization underwater that nobody knew about, and she needs to die because it's all her fault basically. And I'm just like, okay. So in a way, I was like, okay, I kind of see why they kind of wanted to bring her in to it, but also I was kind of thinking, like, was she really needed though? Like, could Riri Williams been saved for Armor Wars, or could she have been just wait till her TV show came out, or do you feel as though that this was a great way to introduce her?
I feel like she was. So I thought she was in this to be like a. I'll be honest. I thought she was in this because if Shuri was going to be taken over as princess or queen to have a higher role, I thought Riri was kind of there to do what Shuri was doing in the science and stuff department. That's what I initially thought. But this plot point, I mean, I don't mind it because it makes sense of why they would be after her. But I also understand why they didn't give her show first. Because a lot of people don't watch the shows. Like, yeah, we watch the shows. A lot of fans watch the shows, but a lot of people don't watch the shows in the grand scheme of it.
Yeah, so it's more so about the movies.
Yeah, so I feel like if they would have just had her in here saying, "Oh, well, you've defeated so and so and so," they'd be like, who? What? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure when Captain America 4 comes out, they're gonna put a refresher from who a U.S. agent is and everybody else is in the beginning or something. I don't know.
You know what? That is true because we've had a role from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Elaine from Seinfeld. What's her name again?
Valentina.
Yeah. She was in that show, and when she came up on the screen, it's like my role reacted, but nobody else reacted. Like I said, we had a dead theater. And when I go to see Marvel movies, I'm sorry, I like a lively crowd. Sometimes like to hear the oohs, the ahs, the cheering and stuff like that. I like hearing things like that when it comes to Marvel movies because it makes it so much more entertaining. But when she came up on the screen, I was just like, dang, nobody reacting to this? Or do they not know who she is? You know what I'm saying? Because they don't watch.
They probably don't know who she is. They probably didn't see Black Widow. And they probably didn't see the other show she was in.
Yeah, like Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something can help and hurt it. Also, just a quick spoiler. Is Valentina who what you call it working with, by the way?
Who, Evan Ross?
No, the other lady. The agent. Peggy Carter?
You know what? I think so.
Okay, all right, my bad. I just had to put that out there.
No.
Anyway.
I mean, this is a spoiler review, so yeah, there is no. Yeah. So I understand that. So it's like I did like Riri. I was trying to understand, like, would I have missed her? Would it really have been detrimental to the plot if Riri wasn't in there? I'm not very sure.
Well, I would have gave M'Baku more to do.
Okay, yeah. In Baku, I heard rumors that he wasn't in the movie that much. Honestly, I thought he was gonna be like in there like one scene, and then I don't see him at all. And I'm like, no, he's in the movie. I see him multiple times in the movie. He just ain't got much to do in the movie. That's the thing, because I was really scared. Like, wait a minute. because every review I was looking at was like, hey, I wish I could have seen more in Baku. I wanted more in Baku. I was just like, y'all not gonna have Winston Duke do one scene like, you know, with the Jabari tribe, and then not he don't come back. I'm like, he's in the movie. He
got one fight scene.
But I'm saying when it comes to a fight scene, yes, he is in there. But I'm saying, but he's in the final battle.
In the trailer, make it seem like he just all throughout the movie. And I'm like, well, that's not the case. You know?
No, but I'm saying, but the way people making it sound, I was like, no, he's in the movie. He just don't have nothing to do. It's kind of like, oh God, there was another Marvel movie I was watching. I was just like, they're in the movie. Yes, Thor: Love and Thunder. Remember, look, it's like Valkyrie was there, but she had nothing to do. Mm-hmm. She was just there. She had nothing to do, huh?
So was Korg.
Yeah, they were characters that were there. They were throughout the movie when their screen needed, but there was nothing for them to do. So that's the that's the thing with Baku. But we gotta talk about the main villain or anti-hero in this one. And
real quick. Speaking of nothing to do, aside from the end, I feel like Nakia didn't need to be in this movie, in my opinion.
You know what? I'm not going to say she didn't need to be in the movie. The reason why I say is because I figured that, because she did have an important role because she's a spy. Okay, so she's obviously a warrior herself. And for her to be able to use her skills to go to this underwater kingdom that nobody knows about to find Shuri, to the point where your head Dora Milaje Okoye failed. I'm like, yeah, so it did give her an important role, but in understanding when it came to the post-credit scene, you know, why necessarily that she's in there, so I get it. You know,
no, I'm talking about, like, I'm saying those scenes are cool, but I'm saying people was like, she should have been in there, like, you know, throughout the movie. And I'm like, well, that kind of, even though she was grieving and all, I was like, this is about the grief of Wakanda as a whole, and like she said in the movie, she is his girlfriend. Other than that, she doesn't really, you know, fit the story of the whole Wakanda, especially with the time jump. So
yeah,
you know, that's all I'm saying.
No, man, I get that. But now we get to the anti-hero.
Cool.
God. Or what my enemies call me, Namor, who is played by, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name.
I don't even know.
What is it? Teco Herrera. Look, I'm gonna.
You gonna try to do it anyway. I don't know.
I do apologize if I missed his man name, but I thought as Namor, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
He had this like flirtatious evilness to him. Like it was a point to like, yo, I'm gonna wine and dine you. I'm polite. I'm nice. I'm respectful of culture. However, don't fuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do not fuck with me. Now, from Jump Street was already going to be the villain in the second Black Panther movie, regardless. And so I'm glad that they kept him, and obviously that they couldn't use Atlantis because of Aquaman and what DC is doing.
I mean, they still could have, but you know, I get it. It'll be confusing for people that mix both brands. You know? Yeah.
So they kind of mixed the indigenous, I believe it was Mayan culture, into what the civilization was, and I love the representation of that. You know, I love the black and brown representation of this, and like I said, the whole underwater thing. Now, here's the thing: I don't know how you felt about it. I heard some people say that it was dark, and I'm like, you know, there were some scenes I was just like, it is kind of dark in here. And the
first one was dark though.
Say what?
The first one was dark though.
It was, but I mean, like those night, like when Namor first introduced himself to Queen Ramonda and Shuri, and I was just like, damn, this is kind of dark. And first of all, it didn't help that my movie theater didn't turn all the lights off. That bothered me. I hate being in a movie theater where you still got some lights on. Like, no, fuck that. Turn these lights off. So, you know,
I mean, but you live in Philly. Ain't no telling somebody could just run up in there.
Okay. But he, he had a demeanor about him, and that his motives, I understand, like, were his motives as strong? Not really, but it was just like he wanted to do all he could to protect his people, and I was just like, what you're really going for here is like based out of anger, which I think is probably the overarching message here, and how he's dealing with his grief of his mother and everything like that. But he is like a wine and diner. He kidnaps Shuri and takes her and shows her his whole underwater kingdom. Like, he shows him all, so like that nobody's been under there before. And Shuri has, and that he wants to create this alliance between the Wakandans and them. And I was just like, I like where this is going, but then once again, he feels as though, because like if we get together to stop them from trying to come and take vibranium and stuff like that, then shit, they ain't. If we join together, there ain't nothing they can do to stop us. But they want to kill Riri, and sure, like, I'm not letting none of that happen. And he's just like, all right. And then there was, like an act of war, like when Nakia went to go save Shuri, like, she found her way down there and killed, one of his guards or his people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, all right, now I'm pissed. And I think that flood scene was something else. I enjoyed that thing. Like, I was like, oh my god, he might come here and flood Wakanda.
Look, yes and no, because that, like, I ain't gonna lie, Queen Rwanda had too much faith in that thing.
What thing?
The glass.
Oh yeah, but first of all, these water bombs, bro. I was just like, these things ain't nothing to fuck with, yo. Like, seriously, these things ain't nothing to fuck with. And I'll get to that in a second, because first of all, his people, those God, what are the Tolokan, I believe is how they pronounce it.
Tolokan.
Yeah, them motherfuckers is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That first scene when you had those two people trying to dive deep into the water, still the vibranium, and then they had this little siren, or they had this little chant that they would do that will make people just off themselves. It was like the happening out there. People was just going like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk off the edge of this boat and kill myself. I was like, what is happening? That's some crazy shit. Yep. It's like, like the what's that book in the Odyssey when they on the ship and they have the little singing lady that would make them go to the voice, but it would be like a real like a little typhoon over there that'll destroy the boat and make them kill. Yeah.
Or similar to Hocus Pocus when she has her song.
Oh.
To the children, and they come to be ready to be put to death, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he said or. But yeah, I was just like, okay, that was crazy. And then the way that they just moved, like, so stuff, like when they were just chasing her all through the, back up to the helicopter, I was like, this is creepy. And their score or their music, their song, man, that right there, I was like, that right there is like on par with the Dora Milaje's, do do zoop 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 zoop. Like I thought like those things were great, especially when they were fighting Okoye on the bridge. I like that fight because one thing Ryan Coogler knows how to do is like record these fights, and they have these zero music behind them, and I was like, that was a pretty decent fight. So how did you feel about that? How do you think that they were represented in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, they are, especially I think his name was like Atuma.
The big dude.
Yeah, he's obviously the Atlantis M'Baku, basically. But
yeah,
no, I like their little score. I wish they keep it like a Debo song.
Yeah,
I wish they keep it for them, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know, but I mean, it's nice overall that them, like you said, popping up in that love scene. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Uh, now when we go on to, so we got more of the characters out the way and stuff like that. Now let's go on to some things that they did in the movie, that we did like, and then some plot points. So they killed the queen. They killed Ramona, and it's like I half saw it coming, and I half didn't. But she drowned because she was trying to save Riri when they came in. Then they
She was face down.
yeah, she was face down when Namor hit her with those water bombs. So
I wouldn't have just stood there.
so well, you want to just
I would not.
Yeah.
First of all, the first time he did it, he ran right up to them and stabbed it, and it was like stable. After that, I would have ran away. I wouldn't still stood there like, yeah, what you gonna do? No, I'm running away.
No, I mean, well, I feel as though like she's the queen, and you can't yield, or you can't run away from.
You yield or you die. So,
I mean, well, these Wakandans are willing to put their life on the line for this shit. Like, but my issue is, I think what happened was that, Riri was a movie. When she said go, you need to go, girl. Like shit, this ain't your fight.
Yeah, first of all, don't she live in Chicago? She don't know what go means. She don't know what run means.
Exactly. I'm like, come on, sis. Come on, sis.
I fully seen this coming because if there's gonna be a Shuri origin story, that she needed. Not to say she needed Peter Parker it, but she needs to experience that feeling.
Also, they also introduced the Midnight Angel armor that Okoye does wear at the end, along with was it Michaela Koga?
I don't know her. I forgot her character's name, but that's actually, I think in the comics it's not Okoye, it's just the other character.
Yeah.
In the comics, but I guess they just gave it to Okoye because she's the more popular. So.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I know some people may have a problem with it. I don't understand the problem with it. I thought it was like, okay, because, it's like this guy is knowing his comic book stuff. And I thought that necessarily was pretty cool.
Now, I didn't like when she had the mask off and like the dread things were still there on her bald head. I don't know why I didn't like that.
Yeah, I think it's something about seeing the Dora Milaje. They just still have their stuff out. Now, if you want to talk about somebody's part that got cut, which I do understand, Evan Ross, he didn't really have much to do in this movie at all. He was just there. M'Baku had more to do than Evan Ross did.
I mean, Evan Ross technically didn't even need to be in this one, to be honest. Like,
yeah, he really didn't. Yeah,
he was there, Wakanda. He was smiling, and he lost. It's like, we had this little thing. What we going on about that bitch? It's a king died. I come to the funeral, but I'm not going to sit here be making drips every other week.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but to the point where, like, I understand that they didn't want him to help out with anything because he wanted the women to be in the forefront. I was like, but there was so much for him not to do in this movie. I was just like to the point where he didn't need to be in it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't need to.
But hey, they still brought him back. Now, post-credit scene. So the post-credit scene now is we only get one mid-credit scene. There's no after-credit scene. It's just the one mid-credit, and Nakia introduces Shuri, who is in Haiti, who burns her grieving robe, that her and T'Challa had a son. And at first, his name was, I forgot what he called his name was, but that's is something else name. But his name is basically T'Challa. So we have another T'Challa here in the world. And the question is, where does this T'Challa go from here? Like, is this a young Avengers T'Challa? By the time we get to Avengers Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, Is it going to be a full grown T'Challa type thing? There's so many different questions that this going
I
to
think he's gonna be fully grown, but I think he'll probably be. If I'm them, I'm gonna at least age him up to be 16 or 17, at least Peter Parker's age. Even though Peter Parker's in college, but he could be that Miles Morales style age of like a big hero, but still be in school.
Yeah, that is a possibility of things that can happen. So,
like, real quick though, we talking about the Young Avengers. We talking about the Young Avengers. The Young Avengers are all like in college age.
yeah. First off, the way I looked at it was like this: if they gonna do a Young Avengers movie or a Young Avengers TV show, y'all better get up on it because these kids about to be grown.
They are grown now. Cassie from Ant-Man is supposed to be in college, right? Isn't Hawkeye, Kate Bishop? Yeah. She's in college.
And then you have there's Riri. There is
Riri's in college.
There's Sam Black Captain America's grandson from Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's
if he's gonna be, what is he gonna be?
He's gonna be the Patriot. He's gonna be that's a Young Avenger. That's that little Black Captain America kid. Then you have Wanda's twins.
If they are alive.
Oh, they're alive. Yeah, I'm saying, but these are Young Avengers because they are Young Avengers. Some say so. Then you have who else do they have as young? Like they are really setting up.
Yelena? No, she's a Thunderbolt. So I don't think she's a Young Avenger. But
no, she not with the Young Avengers. But I'm saying, but yeah, I'm like if this is a team, like if they want to do a movie about that, y'all better act quick. Oh, Miss Marvel most likely Young Avenger. Yeah. You know,
well, she's a senior, I think.
Yeah, so.
Well, she's in college because don't the dude go to college at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's in. Yeah, so. Yeah, they all kind of old, so you know.
Yeah, they kind of old. So I'm like, I didn't see it in the markup. So if there's gonna be a Young Avengers doing, like you gotta get up on that shit. To be honest.
And technically, Peter technically when we left him was in freshman year of college. So
yeah, well, I mean, even though he's young, Spider-Man's not a Young Avenger.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying technically, if that's what you want to do, you can have something like I'm just putting stuff out.
Yeah, so. I could understand that. So yeah, they need to probably get a start on that soon. And then of course you had one of the biggest cameos that I really didn't see coming is Killmonger was there.
I seen this coming. Are you kidding me? This is a Ryan Coogler movie.
Yes,
every single one.
Yes, look, literally, you're right. You are right on that one. I can't argue with that one. But with Shuri, she finally makes the heart-shaped herb and she wants to go to the ancestral plane.
Land below.
Yeah, but instead of going to the ancestral plane, I mean, she does go to a plane of it, but it ain't what she expects. She expects to see her mother or T'Challa, but no, when she goes to that crown, that Killmonger sitting right there, and he was sitting there talking to her, just like, nah, don't give me that shit. You know why you here. You know, me and you just alike. You got vengeance in your heart. And you got anger in your heart, and your brother was too noble and stuff like that. He said, "No, do what I would do."
I ain't gonna lie, he basically like T'Challa.
He said, "What?"
He basically like T'Challa is soft.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he little bitch, man. Look, you need to take him out. And when she comes back, she doesn't let Nakia know that she gets so angry, like. You know, they didn't come for me. I didn't see my mom. I didn't see my brother. Didn't see my dad. I didn't see nobody. And so she gets so angry, but she does have the power of the Black Panther. But Nakia knows that she's lying. She saw something because she knows this thing works. And when she before they go to battle, she says, "Who did you see?" But she really still couldn't tell her. But she says, "Whoever you saw, you gotta let you know that that's not the way your mother or the way." You know, your brother would have wanted. And, you know, my wife came with a good point. Like, if that's what's in your heart by the time you go or whatever the case may be, that could be, that possibly could be a way to be like, all right, you know, I mean, like, if you ain't believing this stuff, you're not going to see this stuff, you know, type thing. I'm like, yo, that was an interesting aspect to cover because I was like, everybody went to the ancestral plane, and then T'Challa saw, his father, and and all that kind of stuff. But her, since she didn't believe in stuff in the first place, she had no faith in the stuff in the first place. That of course, that when she gets there, Killmonger will be the person that she sees.
Yep.
And then she's playing to the point where it's just like, yo, this portion of the ancestral plane is hell, and I am dead. Okay, I'm saying, but this is where you at because we think a lot. I was just like, that's crazy. I thought that it was a welcoming surprise when he came up on there. And I was happy to see him too.
Now, in my mind, I thought because we know this can happen, we see Moon Knight. Yeah. I thought she was just gonna bring him back as well. Like, you know what? You're right. I need some help. I need some vengeance. I need a darker side. I thought she was gonna bring him back as well as her.
Yeah, I understand that, but in wrestling terms, that'd have been like overbooking. Like, it was already so much happening at the end when they had the final battle on the ship.
No, I'm just saying before I believe that before they came up with what they came up with for the final battle, I did not believe and still don't believe that she could beat him. That's all I was saying. I thought he was going to be in it so that they can team up is what I thought.
Gotcha.
Because we've seen Valhalla, we've seen all these places where they still alive technically, but still bringing them back. And the only person that come back that's a regular person per se from the MCU is Mark. So yeah, or more Mark and T'Challa, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's but I didn't really probably think too much like that. It's just gonna break because obviously if they don't respond to Killmonger, if you had brought him back, because first of all she can't really bring him back because ain't no more heart. I mean, it's more heart-shaped herbs left now, but it's still it's still kind of possible. I just like the way that they were dealing.
Well,
I mean, honestly, it would have been kind of pointless. It really would have been kind of pointless to see Killmonger come back, and it would have caused all the same problem. I mean, everybody would like to probably see a male Black Panther try to fight Namor, but he ain't got no beef with him. It was all about Shuri, and it was all about her.
Shuri's story.
Yeah, Shuri's story. And her in that final battle with Namor. Like I said, I like the way the action was done. Even though, like, she has the power because she drunk the herb, but she ain't got the skills. Like, she's not a fighter like T'Challa was.
And she still got them stupid, dumb
beamer things on her arm. I knew you was going to say something about that.
Those are so stupid. Like, they're cool when you don't have powers or whatever, but when you're Black Panther, why do you need beamers? Like, for what?
Yeah, and
it's like the scene in Lion King with Simba when he was like growling, Simba was like, "Ow!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If like her advantage was she was drying Namor out. She had him in the heat to take him to the desert, and they had to fight on the desert. She got like burnt shit out of him, like cooked this motherfucker. But if this man was at full capacity, you getting your ass handed to you. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Nope. That's why I was like, I really did not. I was like, I didn't believe. I was like, it had to be either two Panthers. Or it got to be something. There's no way Shuri is beating this man by herself, just straight up.
He said, I mean, like he had the thing won. Like, I gotta go get in the water real quick, and rehydrate myself. But then, like the vengeance that she had, to burn him down, but she didn't kill him. She ended up doing the right thing and then have him yield. And then that Wakanda and them can kind of work together now if he had yielded.
They still had a Lion King moment.
Yeah.
With the Queen in the Ancestral Plane still had a Lion King moment. She's like, show them who you are.
Exactly. My son. Oh, my God.
I wouldn't mind if they do that for Shuri with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind if the dad comes back or if Angela Sebastian comes back, or even if Killmonger comes back, to at certain points remind her of what she needs to be doing. For people that watch Boy Meets World out there, it's kind of like Chet Hunter and Sean Hunter. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, keep going.
Oh yeah, no. I do agree. So I think we pretty much covered the whole movie when it comes to spoilers and everything that we like. Oh, let me just go. Is there anything about the movie that you did not like? I understand it was a great movie. I mean, we felt as though it was a great movie. It was a good movie, but there's film is subjective, and everything can't always be perfect. But was there something about the movie that you, other than Shuri's hairstyles, that you let's say didn't like?
Shuri. There was times where it just looked like she's not there. I don't know if it's the CGI. I don't know if it's the suit. The suit just looks too skinny. I don't know if the suit looks too skinny. It's like sometimes I'm like, I don't think the suit is actually on her, and it's just CGI. Yeah, and it's like you can tell.
But she's she, like I said, even she's very skinny. She ain't bulk up like Natalie Portman for this movie or nothing. It's just like,
no, she's very skinny, but like as well, it's like there were scenes where she had her helmet off.
Yeah,
and it was just her, and I'm like, this looks like some scenes where Tony Stark, you could tell, it's like,
oh yeah, for Civil War, I was like, this is clearly not on him.
You could tell, like, some of these just don't look right, and the mask for her doesn't work like it did for T'Challa either.
No, it doesn't.
T'Challa can take his mask on and off like that. Hers don't work. For some reason, it just looks weird when all you see is like her forehead and her face coming out of it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a CGI problem or it's just something else. But yeah. So I like the suit, the look of it, but sometimes some shots of the suit I didn't like. I like Riri Williams as a kid. It's like, oh, you almost died like 3 times. What's going on here?
Yeah, there were times I was like, yo, sis, you are a little bit too smart to be playing Damsel in Distress right now.
And you supposed to be the leader of your own show. You got saved like 3 or 4 times. What's going on here?
I mean, well, Ms. Marvel kind of on the same boat, so I'm not even going to, I can't even judge on that.
I'm saying, it's like we're gonna be watching Kimberly the whole time. We're gonna need Tommy to save her the whole time.
Exactly, like the whole fucking time, no, bro.
Tommy, like, come on. What? No. So hopefully, maybe she takes this experience from Wakanda and she grows from it, or maybe even in her show, like they keep in contact. Like I did, like her and Okoye and Shuri's like rapport. So maybe that. Other than that, I wish M'Baku would have more to do, probably because I just like M'Baku as a character. I'm like, he's a big, strong, like he's. Fights, it's like what he should be doing. It's all he should be doing is fight.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't have really that much gripes. I enjoyed it.
I think that there's something I didn't like. I felt as though at times it didn't feel like it was 2 hours and 45 minutes, but there was some pacing issues.
Mm-hmm.
I
told you gonna feel it. I did say
that. I was like it did fly by, but I was just like, there are just a little pacing issues. I do wish that Nakia had more to do. She had an important mission to do, but after the mission, because I'm a huge Lupita fan, so anytime I can see more Lupita, I'm not even gonna be mad. But I felt so that I wish that she had more to do, because after she saved Shuri and she came back, it was like it's the usual fight shit at the end of the first Black Panther movie. I'm like, can y'all give Nakia some more to do? Because this woman can kick some major ass.
I personally agreed. I personally agree with her 2 scenes. I wish they would, because like I said earlier, like she kind of doesn't have any ties to Wakanda other than that one tie. So it's like got technically live in Haiti now, so
But even still,
it's not my problem,
I would have liked it if it was her. I probably would have maybe liked it if it was her and Shuri fighting Namor at the end, while everybody else is doing stuff on the boat. Because I'm like,
what's she got to fight Namor for?
Say what?
I was saying, what if she had to fight Namor for? Not now. If what you said in the beginning would have happened, then yeah. If Namor would have been the one to kill T'Challa, then yes, definitely her and Nakia definitely had to be the ones. But Namor didn't do anything at all to Nakia for her to be like fighting at like for her to fight in general. He's attacking Wakanda. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been like, I live in the most deuces.
Yeah, but I mean, I get what you're saying, but even her being Wakanda, even her being a warrior, even her being a warrior, a spy, and her helping out Shuri for what happened, because she may not have connections to. I mean, well, she has connections to Wakanda, but also he is responsible for the death of the Queen. That is that her and the Queen are close, and that is powerful within itself. That causes for redemption itself, and to even have Shuri come with this whole plan of her being angry, because it could have been I thought the thing would have worked out. Remember, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, right, when they had was it Tom Holland Spider-Man was about to kill the shit out the Green Goblin, right? And then the other Peter Parker pulled, Tobey Maguire Peter Parker pulled him back like, nah, we're not doing it this way.
Yep.
And it was kind of like a reflecting moment, and then he like stabbed the piece on the side of him, like, all right, you got it this way. I thought it could have worked out that way, where she was like, I want to beat, like, we going to jump this, because it would have been more believable of her and Nakia beating up Namor, opposed to her by herself, because it was like, Shuri does not have those skills. She just does it. It's not a sexist thing. She just does not have those skills, but Nakia does, and they could fight, and because they tag team in the first movie, they could tag team, and then as she's about to kill Namor, she's like, "No, your mother would not want you." Instead of having that Lion King moment, you could have probably still kind of had it, but still.
Now they're gonna keep that Lion King moment, because they're gonna probably be wanting to ask Angela Bassett to come back to do little cameos like this. Like, Angela, can we have you come back and deliver a strong line in this ancestral plane scene?
Deliver a strong line.
I'm telling you, next time Sherry goes to the plane, she gonna see her mom, and she's gonna be like, "Mom, why didn't you tell me about T'Challa's son? I wanted to keep it from you." And then she's gonna have a full scene. She'll have a full, 2-3 minute monologues.
Probably so, but I also think that right there could have been a strong way for it, and they could be like, no, this is not the way to do it, with Nakia being the more reasonable one, and knowing that she's seen something in that ancestral plane that has driven her to this moment. I feel as though that could have been, instead of just throwing her on the ship with M'Baku and the Dora Milaje and everybody else to fight all these Totocons. I felt as though it could have been at least her, and I mean, it's a war fight, so of course you have like Dora Milaje. I felt as though, like, damn, did they just wreck every Wakandan on there, and there's only just like 8 of them left in a circle against all these motherfuckers?
Look, if I'm in Wakanda, I'm like, bro, I gotta move, because Thanos attacked this. And then our king dies, so people just attacking us every week. And then now we're getting flooded. I'm like, I'm moving.
So I'm moving. So I'm going to Nigeria. So what would you grade this movie? And when it comes to the Phase 4 movies, where do you rank it? So start off with what would you grade
it? I would give it. Was that a B? I give it a B.
I get it's a damn near perfect. I thought this thing was great. This, and when it comes to me, this comes into my top 3 Phase 4 movies, because I still think the best Phase 4 movie is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Then I will put Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Then I put Shang-Chi. Those were the top 3 Phase 4 movies.
Okay, so I probably have Black Panther in my top 3 or 4. Okay. Depending on which day you ask me, but yeah.
Okay, so what are your other ones? Because like me personally, I like Doctor Strange, but I think there were some things left to be desired. Thor: Love and Thunder, I felt I got my things to say about that. It's like, yeah, Black Widow was obviously
The
just.
thing is, every time somebody says, "Oh, this is bad," I didn't think Thor: Love and Thunder was bad. I'm just like, this is just the Thor that we got now. He's a goofy, like this is Thor.
No, no,
If we was to have a serious Thor movie, then yeah, whatever. But I'm like, I don't really
I,
care if Thor is goofy.
no, I didn't say it was bad,
No,
but
I'm saying
but
everybody I've seen was saying that.
yeah, and I'm just like, I mean, is it better than Ragnarok? Absolutely not. But I'm still thinking that uh, there's some things that could be, better in there. And then I'm not talking about TV shows, but I'm just talking about the movies. And the Eternals at the bottom of my list for Phase 4.
I didn't even I didn't finish the Eternals, so
Yeah, so that's at
I didn't finish the Eternals, and I didn't even bother to watch Black Widow. So
see, exactly. So when it comes to like Phase 4 stuff, yeah, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Shang-Chi are my top 3. I think those are the movies I was like, this is what I love about the MCU type thing. And I think this really did a great job, and I understand real quick. Dealing with this, I understand people who don't like this movie. I'm not gonna sit there and say you're dumb or your opinion don't matter, because film is super subjective. However, I do believe that we, as just a culture of people, we react to certain things, and we may feel as though we know what we want at a certain time. This thing is about grieving, and it's easier to be angry than it is to deal with sadness. Nobody likes to deal with sadness, and let's just face it. If you recast T'Challa and you put T'Challa in this movie, and Ryan Coogler went on with the script that he had, it's a way of not having to truly deal with the death of Chadwick Boseman in your face. This movie was like, no, we're not going to run from it. We're going to embrace it, and then we're going to move forward after this. But you have to embrace it in order to heal and to move on. And I think a lot of people aren't ready for that. And I think that's unfortunate, because it really does break my heart when people go out here and talk about how bad this movie is. I'm like, this movie is not, like, I don't know what movie you're watching. Personally, I personally cannot agree with you calling this a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. And
yeah, I'm going through looking at the reviews on YouTube. Everybody that have a face on it, their face is making like a or a thumbs down face. I'm like, really?
yeah, like, it breaks my heart thinking like of what Ryan Coogler had to go through to make this movie in the first place, to be happy that we even got a Black Panther movie when you think about even just canceling it. So I'm grateful for that. And just like I said, film is subjective, but also I really think it's a big thing where people, everybody grieves differently, and they don't. It's hard. Like, nobody wants to start crying. Nobody wants to get that lump in their throat. Everybody want to be big heart. Like, it wasn't me. I wasn't the one crying. You crying. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with you? It happens. I hear reviews of people saying, man, they should just recast them. I'm like, I think naturally we want that because we won't have to deal with this. But it's something I feel as though now that we have dealt with it, now that it's out the way, and we can move on to the healing part. Look, Shuri's not going to be the Black Panther going into these Avengers movies, and T'Challa's son, no matter how much time has jumped, it's like, I do believe with the multiverse, I do believe that with all these other things going on in Marvel Phase 4 right now, that there will be another T'Challa. Shit, it may be a T'Challa that's with Storm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like instead of the one that was with Nakia that had the son, I'm like, there could be another T'Challa in another multiverse that's actually married to Storm. And then it's like, okay, we can use that version of T'Challa. And then probably if they want to recast Shuri, or they want to bring another woman, depending on what's going on in her personal life, fine. You know what I'm saying? That there could be another Queen Ramonda. Like, there are multiple ways that Marvel has set the groundwork to get out of the situation. And I'm like, that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, but the reason why I thought Shuri wasn't, like, when she had those issues and stuff, and I thought she wasn't coming back because of they just like, you know, we can just literally go to another world. Like, we don't need to go back to this exact Wakanda because,
Yeah.
like, M'Baku's a cool character, but like, he kind of doesn't have anything to do now. And the kill kind of out the mess because of T'Challa, and everybody else is dead. So I'm like, if you wanted to do something with Shuri or kill off Shuri and just start over, I can understand if you want to start off with a variant of T'Challa. I can understand that too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, yo, I do not believe that even if she is the one that's going to be in these Avengers movies, bruh, I'm telling you, it's going to they're going to find a way to figure this whole thing out. But it was just at the moment, I think it was just a little bit too soon to just recast it. Because I honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can only speak for me, but I probably would have been mad. I probably would have been pissed off if Chadwick Boseman died in August, right? And then they said in September or October that, hey, well, we had the script already ready for Black Panther 2. We sent it to him, and it was like, all right, cool, but now we got a deadline to meet by next year, so we're going to recast T'Challa. People would have been pissed. I would have been angry, like, yo, it's only been 2 months. The man, you know, it's like he just now got into the ground.
Hey,
y'all.
well, hey, whoa now. All I'm gonna say is you are lucky. Marvel are those type of people that care.
Say what?
I said I'm just saying you're lucky. Marvel is those type of people that care. Because other companies, it don't matter. Money is money, and we don't care. We just put you in the ground 2 days ago. We recast it because we need this money. I'm glad Marvel cares.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. I know I'm probably taking a long way to do it, but that's what I'm trying to explain. That Marvel gave a damn about this man, because this Chadwick Boseman didn't come in like Chris Evans. Captain America made Chris Evans a bigger star. Chadwick Boseman already came in a big star already to Marvel. Marvel didn't make him. It made him a bigger. It made him more of a cultural icon. But he was already a star. Because when they first mentioned his name, it was like, oh shit, Chadwick Boseman. You mean from 42 and Get On Up and all those movies that he's been doing? That man's a great actor. That's what that whole thing was at the Jump Street. Opposed to like a Chris Evans who was just like, okay, I know who Chris Evans is. But then Captain America has boosted Chris Evans' stock high because of who Captain America is. And for Marvel to give a damn, because like I said, I would have been pissed if this is Warner Bros. Chadwick would have been cast in that like next week. Like, let's cast somebody else. Okay, John David Washington, John Boyega, or Idris Elba was going to be T'Challa, and then after a while, I'd be like, you know what? I would have felt some kind of way, like, yo, Marvel, like, this man gave you everything. He made a movie that got your Academy Award nominations and also got y'all $1.3 billion, and you mean you're gonna just disrespect him like that? That's how I know I would have felt, and I think that's how a lot of people would have felt. They don't want to admit that, but now. They didn't. So since they didn't do it, you got to be angry at something. And since they said, "Well, we're not going to recast," they're like, "Well, oh, so T'Challa's not that important, bro? It's soon. It's really soon. I understand you upset. It's soon." And people. I think sometimes people cannot be honest with their feelings and their reactions about certain things. And I think like. What else? It ain't like they went against his family's wishes. They worked on the movie with them. I'm sorry, everybody can't have a what's from Fast and Furious?
Paul Walker.
Everybody can't have a Paul Walker thing where it's like, okay, his brother going to come in and do the last CGI stuff for him. And then we're gonna retire the character off. It don't always work like that. Marvel gave a damn about this black man, and you don't see that in Hollywood a lot. And I'm like, you got to be grateful for that. You got they pay him respect in this movie. They paid him a great deal of respect in this movie. Show that, bro, we ain't forget about you. We not going to forget about you, and it's hard. And people came in there and was like, yo, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be emotional. I just want to be angry. Let me be angry at Kevin Feige and Marvel because they didn't recast him. And I'm like, okay, so if they recast him, how important or big the movie would have been? They already said it would be like, well, we're giving T'Challa's perspective of how things are going for Wakanda sharing their resources and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, it probably would have been a decent movie also because he's in there. But I don't know. I really feel as though that sometimes people not being honest with themselves, and I know would have been in a whirlwind of emotions because I'm human. I say go check out the movie and let yourself be human. Let yourself feel the emotion. If you want to cry, cry. If you don't. Like my wife, legit doesn't like cry by everything. She got emotional, but she didn't cry. My son, I cried. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm comfortable saying I cried. I think my sister cried when she was there. I can't confirm this, but I think she may be a little uncomfortable to say that. But I was like, but that was some powerful shit we was watching. Yeah. And anything that can make me do that in a movie, I think it did its job. Because look, hell, when they were saying goodbye to Tony Stark, man, I'm saying it was feeling tight in my throat. I was like, man, because I've been rocking with that man since 2008 in this whole MCU thing. So, I say just you can allow yourself to just be human. But that's our review for it. Like I said, we both enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And make sure you guys like, subscribe when we do more movie reviews like this on the movie Experience. So once again, it's NC, the place to be chilling with D, and not Deion Sanders for Primetime.
All right, y'all.
All right, and the Nerd Coalition is out.